three-part card presentation. Alright, you guys have to make what I call three-part cards. First thing of all, your three-part cards need to be pink. So you're going to have to buy pink index cards. You probably can't find pink index cards that come all together. So you will have to get your index cards and one to multi-pack and pull them out. Okay? So you're going to take your pack of pictures. You have two pictures. You need to color them exactly alike on each sheet. You have two sets of words to go with your pictures. You only need the black words. You don't need the bottom words at all. I'll tell you what they use the bottom words for when I show you how to use them, okay? But don't worry about the bottom words. You need the top words. The words go with the picture, so don't get them messed up. Cub, nut, and bug. Cub, nut, and bug, okay? Some of them will confuse you sometimes, and I will get people who mess up. For example, this paintbrush really goes with red. You might want to make a note because it's on the paper with all the middle E sounds, the vowel E. So red, so you got the color of the paintbrush actually red, okay? So each picture set goes with the word. Like this one, they'll get this one mixed up because it has a kid. They're talking about the goat, not a little kid. But see, if they don't color them all at the same time and got them all cut up, they'll find a little boy and put kid with it. But kid is talking about the goat because it's on the paper with the what? The rest of the I words. Another one a lot of people get mixed up is top. This little boy is like a toddler. He's a top. Because he's on the page with all the O's on it, and that's the only thing that he can be. Okay? Make sure you color them as close as possible. I always tell the joke. I have my daughter checking these with me sometimes, and she will spot the smallest things. Like on the men, it's like 5 men standing there. She noticed that somebody colored the tie a different color on one card than they colored it on the other card. Little kids will find out the differences. They will see them. Which one? That's the kid. That's the kid. Like a baby goat is called a kid. You're going to color your pictures. You're going to cut them out. Then you're going to make cards that look just like these. I gave you an example to take home with you. I'm not saying this is a perfect example. This is just some work that people laminated, colored, and left here for me to keep. Don't pick your stuff back up. I don't want them. I have a set of my own. So I'm giving them to you to keep so you'll know how they look. The best thing to make sure that they glue down is not glue, because glue bleeds through. The glue stick will work sometimes too, but when you put it through the laminator, the heat, sometimes the glue stick runs through too. That I'm trying to find the word that you called it. The little paste stuff. Rubber cement. There it goes. Rubber cement. It comes in a little jar, and like a little paintbrush. Rubber cement works the best. Because then you can also, if you make a mistake, you can rip it off. The rubber cement kind of rolls off like rubber, and you can re-put it up there. Okay? Rubber cement. You want to make sure the cards look almost exactly alike. So when you're cutting them, make sure you cut them alike. I even seen somebody use a button maker and push the button maker around each one of their pictures, and their pictures were actual circles that time. So it doesn't have to be square. They can be circles, square, triangles, as long as all of them look alike. The words are the same way. The words need to look alike. When I go to grade them, I'm going to grade them. Are they pink? Are they laminated? Are they neat? Like I know this set that I gave with the fin, you can tell they had been rubbing all over it and some of the black had laid all out. So are they neat? You have the whole cards. Of course the whole cards should match. Make sure that when you stack up these little ones like this, they match. They're the same size. Go ahead, ask your question. Okay. So make sure when you stack them up, they're the same size, which means these are the same size. So if you make all of these 2 inches, all of them should be cut 2 inches. 4 inches, all these should be cut 4 inches, so they'll stack up nice and neat on top of each other. Okay? The other thing when you go to turn them in, I want them turned in by vowel letters. I want A in one baggie, the vowel E in one baggie, O in one baggie, I in one baggie, and U in one baggie. So get little sandwich bags and put the cards in there. And go ahead and separate all the big ones together, all the medium ones together, and all the small ones together. And if you put them in the same order, it would be nice, but I won't take off if you don't. But that makes it easier for me to check. And if you don't put them in separate bags, I am going to take off. Because then that means I have to go through all 60 cards, separate them in each pile, then go back and check them for everything else I need to check them for. So when you separate them by vowel letters, it's just easier for me to pick up. I count out your 12. I look at them, make sure you did them right. And as much time as you put into them, I do count them and I do look at them. Okay?
So you want the small ones on the little bag too?
They don't have to be in separate bags. You could just put a rubber band around it if you want to. Rubber band around these, a rubber band and a rubber band, and put them all in the same bag. That's fine. Okay? And then you can put them all in the side of the big bag. Make sure you put your name on them, or in the bag, on the front of the bag, or somewhere, because people are turning cards with no names on them sometimes. So you have a good little while to work on these. As far as lamination goes, there's several different ways to laminate. There's just regular contact paper like you line drawers with. I've seen people use contact paper. Flip it over, cut it out. A lot of people don't like that. I've seen the regular, they have laminating paper. Do not get the laminating paper that looks sort of like these, they look sort of like this. And you would slip them in, and then you seal the top. And when you go to cut them, what's going to happen? They peel on each side. So don't even mess with it. It's not even worth your money. Don't even mess with that kind. They do have some other little laminated paper that kind of stick together. They have little small laminating machines that you can run your cards through and laminate them. Some people have success with those. Some people say they jam all the time. If you got a friend who works in the school system, finish them early. See if you can give them to them, and maybe they can run them through. If you know somebody who has a laminator at one of the schools, might have a laminator. One of the churches might have a laminator. You can pay to get them laminated. Kinko's, Office Max, some of the teachers' store, they usually charge by the foot. And it's not too expensive. I think it's under $25 or right at $25, which that might be a lot of money to somebody, to some people. But you can pay to get them laminated. If you take them to Kinko's and to Michael's, I would suggest you stand there for a few minutes and say, when you gonna start? Let me see you do them. And talk to them about them, because they don't care what they are. They will stick them in there and they be falling all on top of each other. And you go to pick up your stuff and it's all stuck together. So make sure you emphasize to them what you want them to do. Some people laminate them whole, laminate both cards whole like this, and once they laminate them, they cut them, which is okay if it's a good lamination. If it's laminated well, it won't ravel. But if it's like not laminated well, a lot of times it'll start to peel once you cut it. But if it's laminated well, you should have no problem just cutting off the bottom halves like that and just letting them run in the whole cards. But just be careful who you give them to run off. You don't want any horror stories. Okay? Any questions about your 3-part cards? When we come back, the next time that we meet, and when we get to the part about reading, we're going to show you how to use these cards for reading. And that's the end of our presentation.